And what do they read? Look, does it matter? Oh, it's got to matter a little bit, but in some ways not. If you want to read a great book on this, Amusing Ourselves to Death, demonstrates how, compared to television, even reading marginal stuff exercises your brain a lot more efficiently and completely. So we have the kids every few books. They can pick out one if they want to. Most of them don't do it that often, but they can pick out one subject to our approval. Some of the Robinson books we skipped because we had enough feedback. We had, enough kids that consistently said, Father, Mother, Ulysses S. Grant can't write. I think it was Grant was one of them, isn't that right? Or somebody like that. And so there are a few of these books that we just put on the next list, and we substituted something else in. In fact, towards the end of school, that senior year, we collect, or I mostly, put together my own actual kind of reading list for them. Some on skill things for school, some things in theology or philosophy, there's some business things, there's some organize your life things, there's just some stuff that I want them to have some balance and experience with. And I think Jody's most happy when I fiddle with that.
Yeah, I thought that was a great idea. That would be toward the end of that senior year, when they've actually gone through
everything,
all the as many of the Robinson books as we wanted them to. And that is to say, I mean, we stuck with the list pretty well. It's not like we just totally ignored it, and we think it's really excellent for the most part. And some books my children didn't like, other people's children loved. So that's, again, you're the parent, and listen to your kids and listen to your own thoughts on that. But like Fred said, if they're reading and they're reading decent books, they're going to be learning and growing.
Here are the two great testimonies we've had in college. One was a teacher asked one of our children, told this person, that's the best timed essay I've ever read. And your other essay earlier in the year, can I take it and use it for all the kids to see what I want an essay look like? Now, this person isn't our star writer, but this person has learned how to, the way we teach it, to put an essay together. And so she, having gone through that essay course 2 or 3 times, got it down. And the other child, the one that just graduated, discovered this the first semester, and it held true all the way through. He said, what I learned that was so valuable was the ability to read and understand what I was reading. He said friends of mine would be quite amazed that I would read through what they consider difficult material, and I would just understand it and could recall it the way I had learned to put it together in my head. That's the whole value. Being able to read and comprehend, you almost don't need teachers. You've got bookshelves and libraries and tutors from throughout all time. I'm not saying teachers aren't great, cheering for them, but that ability to sit down with a book is an opportunity to get involved in the great conversation, or a great conversation on a particular topic. So part of the reason why we're a fan in this kind of curriculum, non-curriculum system. But I just don't know how to be uptight about this stuff, especially as we're seeing the fruit that we see.
Oh yes, that feels really great to have kids graduate from, well, one, just go to college and get in colleges, and then now to have one having graduated. You're like, it worked, we did it, Robinson did it, yay.
Well, we'd sort of probably say it this way, we didn't mess them up too bad, right? So
right.
That's at least part of it. There are some questions here. You got something else you want to add?
Oh, well, and we're going to look at the questions also. One just very practical thing, whether to let your child read, do math, do their schoolwork in their own room by themselves, or whether to have it always in front of you or always with siblings. And this is something else that we have varied over the years, and varied with children at different times. And sometimes children have had the privilege of being on their own, and we've had to take it away and have them come back and to a more public area where I'm watching them more carefully. And that is just something you need to figure out. Now, I can't remember the age we first let them work in their rooms alone, but it was not when they were little. I'm thinking it might have even been like, I don't know, maybe junior high-ish. But it was mainly a maturity level for them, you know, because when you're in your room by yourself and nobody's watching you, it's easy to piddle around and not do what you're supposed to be doing. Or
I would say this, they probably all the way through are better served doing some things together with other people. Because you know they're going to be around people in the library, they're going to be, we've had them that distracted, wanting to get each other to shush up, etc. And you just have to learn to concentrate. You have to learn to bring your brain back to focus. Bring your brain back to focus. So that has varied with kids, but we found it helpful to at least some of their stuff they do
together.
Yeah, together.
Right.
Another little thing that we do that's kind of our own little twist is on math. What we'll do is if a child, now we're pretty strict on our math. If you don't write pounds or ounces and it's supposed to be pounds or ounces, that's a problem. You're missing decimals, that's a problem. I mean, if you get the problem right and it may not be quite in the form, we're not uptight unless it's reducing and you're supposed to reduce and you know it. We make reducing an issue, but we're particular is what I'm saying, because when they get to college, it's going to be particular. They show their work. I saw a recent conversation about whether your kids should show their work on math, and let me just say, yeah, always show their work. There's no advantage to not showing their work. It's a setup for cheating, and it's a setup for missing out on the great thing in college is if you show your work. A lot of teachers will see, oh, I see where you went wrong. They give you partial credit, deservingly, because you're getting it. You just fouled up, moved a decimal, something like that. But here's what we do. If you get, when you get 5 100s in math, if you get 5 100s, when you collect them, that earns you a free day off in school. When they get into advanced math, we've changed it. The older ones won't like this, but that's the way it goes. Since we have a young child in advanced math, and it's much tougher on him, 4 100s, and he gets a free day off of school. We also give their birthdays off. It's a credit. They don't have to use it on their birthday, but it gives them a day off from school. Is there anything else that they might get if any of them had money, I might charge them, but...
Well, and like Fred said earlier, you know, holidays, but we don't do every Monday holiday. There's too many of them. We pick and choose, and it does help. We've not always been good about this, but if you wanted to just go ahead and set that out for the year so your kids know, but we haven't.
And
really.
some of them are semi-school. For example, Martin Luther King's birthday. Jody growing up in Montgomery and me in Alabama. So much of the civil rights era and transition and challenges were just part of what we were intimate with. And so we will watch a film, have a discussion. There are things we've done for that day. So it's like a partial day off school. We also occasionally supplement school with a particular course. They did one on argumentation debate that we'd gotten from the teaching company, I think. So we'll interject special issues like that. There are other learning contexts. Let me just throw this out. Movies, it's always been a big debate. What do you expose your kids to, et cetera? And I've always had an analysis, a way to analyze a movie. Do the bad people lose? If they lose, I'm already pretty happy. But what we did is instead of just battling against, you know, some of the, you know, silly, you know, magic, witchcraft, pantheism in Harry Potter and Star Wars or whatever, when they got old enough, we'd just go to the movie, and then we'd go to lunch, then we'd debrief it, and we'd go through what do we like, what do we not like, what matches our understanding of God and the universe, what doesn't match it. So they're learning to be analytical, critical thinkers, but we're not so isolating them from the culture they can't have a conversation with other people redemptively. That's that sovereignty thing. That's your choice.